A feast for the eyes, ladies and gentlemen. And it's free. Come and see me as soon as you have made your choice.
Так, что тут у нас?
You won't
Продолжаем,
be
да?
disappointed.
Проститутками говорить. Смотрите, новенький! И кто же с ним? Отец Петрус. Здравствуйте. Можешь подсказать нам, кому принадлежит эта серьга? Возможно, она ваша? Нет, конечно, я не оставляю свои вещи у клиента. Такая ты ж. Так, не так, значит, да? А есть вот это.
There are too many of you for me alone, my little lambs.
Sorry, madam, but we are here to ask other favors of you. This question might seem a little surprising, but do you know who this earring might belong to?
Why? It's mine. I lost it when... How did you get hold of it?
Are you sure you want to broach that subject here?
You're right. Come with me. Well, what do you want? Why are you giving me back my earring?
You know where we found it, don't you?
Obviously. I realised as soon as I got back that I'd lost it.
I imagine your pimp does not know that you take part in these parties. He doesn't dabble in this at all?
No. Do not say anything to him, I beg you. He's on my case enough as it is.
Then I suggest you answer my questions.
What would you like to know?
Could you tell us who you saw at the parties?
Rich people, or better. They seem very rich and important to me, but I don't know them.
Do you know who organises these parties?
Not really, no. A steward pays me when I go, but I don't see anyone else, apart from the clients.
You can't even give me a single name?
No. The only person who sometimes speaks to this steward is a woman who is always wearing a green coat. She never takes part in the festivities, but the steward rushes over whenever she arrives.
Do you think that an important person from Teleme could have partaken in these soirees?
You're thinking of Mother Cardinal, aren't you? You lot really think we are a bunch of degenerates.
You're hardly a shining example of virtue, my child. Just answer our questions.
Sorry, Father, I don't know the Mother Cardinal, but I strongly doubt she dabbles in that.
You don't think you could recognize her, and you don't think you've crossed paths. What a testimony. This woman in a green coat, could you tell me about her?
She always hides her face and never joins us. Then she disappears into a little office and locks the door.
I see. She is quite important, then. Do you know someone who goes by the name of Candy Cane?
Everyone does. He is a powerful person, so his name makes the rounds.
Have you ever spotted him at these pleasure parties?
In all honesty, I wouldn't even be able to recognize him. I've heard his name before, but that's all.
Admit it. You must know more than you're letting on. It's virtually impossible not to recognize someone while being so close to these influential people. Wouldn't you agree?
Please, I'm serious. Despite all the benefits and money, these parties aren't enjoyable in the slightest.
I understand. Thank you for your help.
Be sure not to mention this to anyone. I'd lose my clients if they suspected me of speaking about them, you know.
Good day.
Welcome. You here to wager? To fight?
I must be going.
Next time.
Terence, do you need something?
I must leave you.
Ready to excite the I don't need to remind you. Ready to excite the crowd.
I need to get going.
Huh.
Can I get you it?
Look who it is.
I'm looking for a woman who comes here. She always wears a long green coat.
Yes, I have seen this coat before, but I have no idea who is beneath it, if that's what you're asking. All I know is that I've seen her speaking to a regular, a steward of the palace who comes to place big orders. Always prime choice.
I have to go. I will leave you to your work. Good day.
Welcome. You here to wager?
I am looking for someone. A woman wearing a big green coat.
Yeah, I know who you mean. She's a good client. She comes in, especially for the big fights, and she has prime information.
Do you know where I can find her?
No, I don't even know her name.
She wouldn't happen to be coming back to collect some winnings, would she?
No, and I can't really tell you when she'll show up next.
I must be going.
Next time, then.
So, how do you see things, my child?
I think that the usurer is lending money to the cardinal, and very significant sums at that. With this money, she bets in the arena fights while hiding in a big green coat. And she also gives large amounts to a certain candy cane. known for fixing fights.
Not only does our dear Cornelia love betting games, but she also wouldn't think twice about cheating to win.
Maybe he is just giving her advice. How can we prove anything?
We can always try asking him. Who knows? Perhaps he will give us an answer.
Protect me in this battle!
Fardetara grimeterda!
Protect me in this battle!
Fardetara grimeterda!
Good evening. Are you the one they call Candy Cane?
Who are you?
Desardet, legate of the merchant congregation.
A legate, no less. I imagine in these cases, the one accompanying you is the famous Petrus.
You seem to be very well informed. Therefore, you might be able to answer my question. What do you know about a woman in a green coat?
Why would I tell you?
We know that you have business with this woman, and that she is actually the Mother Cardinal.
How did you... You'd be better off forgetting that.
That's not exactly the response I'd imagined, but nevertheless, seems rather eloquent.
I told you to forget about it, or you'll soon run into trouble. Legate or no legate.
Come on. It was just an innocent little conversation. Goodbye, Mr. K.
Bye. And Godspeed.
We have enough information.
Really? Is the fact that she bets on fights that are potentially fixed enough for you?
It's already a huge scandal. Let me just think about it for a little while. I will find a way of putting this information to good use.
I have faith in you, Father.
My dear child,
I will see you later.
take care.
I will see you later. abandoned place.
My mother told me about this place. She said that the village was devoured by the houses of the sons. How could their chief accept this?
All that's left to do is find Father Justinius. Father.
I'm glad to see you, my child. What can I do for you?
The Mother Cardinal has asked me to investigate the theft of these tablets you discovered.
That's excellent news. The loss of the tablets is a catastrophe. We have to find them at all costs. If you want to learn more about these tablets, you should go ask Sister Eugenia. She supervises the theologians who discovered them, and were also guarding them. You should find her a bit further in the village, with her colleagues.
Who are the suspects of this theft?
The heretical brutes of the village of Vedlug most likely had a hand in this. They must have wanted to please the demons they worship by stealing the holy word from them.
How could they have learned of the tablets' existence?
Perhaps the demons are giving them this power. Unless one of the natives living in the village innocently mentioned them. They are so naive. Either way, I am certain that the heretics are involved in this matter.
I must leave you.
May the Enlightened...
I wondered how my people could accept the priests settling in their home like this.
It all seems a bit too convenient. If we find out some information about the history of Eden, maybe we'll change our view on things. The theft of the relic is probably not a coincidence. Father.
I'm glad...
I must leave you.
May the Enlightened...
Hello. The Mother Cardinal asked me to help you find the tablets that were stolen. Can I ask you some questions?
Of course. But hurry, I have a lot to do.
The Mother Cardinal told me that this village has been developed on the basis of St. Lucius's writings. Are you one of the theologians who helped in its creation?
Yes. I was sent here to confirm that this place is indeed the one described in the writings, and then I stayed.
What was the reaction of the natives when you arrived here?
Most of them were not in favor of us living amongst them. They were afraid we might chase them out of their own village. And there were even more protests once we started talking about searching for traces of Saint Matthias. I suppose they thought we would destroy all of their raised stones and other places of superstition.
Were there any confrontations with the natives?
Yes. The warriors of the village attacked us. The Ordo Luminous actually had to intervene. The Inquisition managed to make them run away. The islanders tried to attack again with the support of Vedlug, but we stood our ground. And when Lur, the chief of the village, finally accepted our presence, things calmed down.
Thank you. This information will certainly prove to be useful. I talked to Father Justinius. He told me that you were supervising the theologians here.
Indeed. It is under my supervision that the research on Saint Matthias is conducted.
Where were the tablets the night they were stolen?
We were keeping them in one of the village's shacks. We intended to bring them to San Matthias later. But first, we wanted to examine them in order to obtain as much information as possible. You can go and take a look in the shack if you want to. But I couldn't find any traces of forced entry.
Who do you suspect of being the thief?
Oh, alas. I'm afraid there are many suspects. These tablets are priceless relics. Some settlers may have fallen prey to the lure of profit. The heretical natives of Vedlug may have wanted to take them away from us, or it could have been vengeance by those who had to leave the village.
I imagine that someone was keeping watch over them.
Of course, we took turns guarding the shack. But some of us can't have taken the task that seriously. If I remember correctly, it was Brother Virgil who was guarding them that night.
Well, thank you for these pieces of information.
I am the one who should be thanking you. Especially if you manage to retrieve the tablets for us.
Не понял. Мало.
Thank you. I will let you work.
Greetings. Desade. I'm handling the investigation into the theft of the tablets. Sister Eugenia told me to talk to you.
I'm Brother Virgil. What would you like to know?
Have you been in Eden for a long time?
2 months, approximately. Back then, there were still some pagan natives in the village. I joined Sister Eugenia's team with some of my colleagues, so we could give them a fresh outlook on things. We arrived straight from Ptolemy, hoping to study some new texts. But once we were here, I understood that my real mission was with the islanders. We must bring the light to this island.
You talked about a mission with the natives. What did you mean by that?
I may be under the command of Sister Eugenia here, but my superior is Bishop Domitius. Our mission is to banish pagan cults and convert the entire population to the light. The island belongs to Saint Matthias, and therefore to Ptolemy, since the god of light offered it to our founder.
If your superior's Domitius, you are a member of the Ordo Luminis. I did not expect to find one of its members side by side with the missionaries. They usually do not get along.
The Order goes everywhere the light needs to be revealed.
You have a very unique way of seeing things. I doubt everyone accepts it. How are your relations with the natives?
When I arrived, we were still trying to obtain information from them about Saint Matthias, but they were very reluctant to give us any answers. We were also trying to educate them. Our attempts eventually made some of the inhabitants of the village react badly. Most stubborn against our teachings, the warriors, and the marked. The ones the natives call the Onomanawi. They eventually left, and it has proved nothing but a blessing for us. I would like to go back to work now, if you don't mind.
Of course. According to your colleague, you were the one in charge of guarding the tablets on the night of the theft. Is that right?
Indeed.
What can you tell me about that night? Did you hear or see anything?
No, nothing in particular. The night was quiet, and then the morning after, we saw they were gone.
Someone had to enter the shack to steal the tablets. How did that happen?
I have no idea. The door was closed in the morning, and the lock was intact.
Do you suspect anyone in particular?
Not really. What I can tell you for sure is it is not one of us.
Well, Sister Eugenia did tell me that the tablets were priceless.
Of course. But our motivation is not the lure of price.
Ой,
All
простите.
that matters to us is their value as proof, not the money we could make out of them.
Do you think the culprit could be a native?
Well, since none of us did it, it seems obvious. There aren't many other settlers around here, and the natives knew of the existence of these tablets before we found them. They were attached to them too, in their own way.
They are the ones who led you to them.
Well, we conducted the research, but they helped us find where they were hidden. Some inhabitants of the village are still giving us a hand with our work.
Well, thank you. I will investigate where the theft took place.
As you wish. But you won't find anything there. And why does it matter anyway? There were witnesses to the discovery of these tablets. We have all the proof we need. And that's all that matters.
What do you mean?
Now we can prove Saint Matthias lived here. Our actions on this island are justified. To keep rummaging the way Sister Eugenia does will only create more tensions with the natives.
I was not expecting a theologian to say such things. I will leave you to your work. Goodbye. There's only one entrance, and the door shows no evidence of a break-in.
This priest, Virgil, said that the night was calm. So calm that he probably fell asleep. So, the thieves only had to take the key from him.
It's very likely that that's what happened, but someone must have informed them. It can't be a coincidence that they decided to steal it during the watch of the only neglectful guard.
You think that the one who told them is in this village?
We know that this theft could be an act of vengeance by the natives who were forced to leave here. They must still have allies in the village. Family or friends. We should go talk to the chief of the natives. He will certainly know who's close to the exiles, and enough about the researchers to inform them.
Hello. I am Lair, the village leader. Well, I was the leader of this village.
Hello. Desade. I'm the legate of the merchant congregation.
There are Onol Manawi among the Logead Blau. I did not know that. What do you want from me?
I have heard a lot of things about this village of Eden, but I'd like to hear your version.
I'm not sure I have the answers to all of your questions, but I'll try.
Tell me about the arrival of the people of Teleme and how you received them.
The priests were roaming around the village. They were saying that it was the place where their saint had lived. They were asking questions, talking about the Lloyd and all these things. One morning they were building houses next to ours. And we had new neighbors.
The priests told me that they had managed to convert you. How did that happen?
As long as we refused to listen to them. They were violent, and they destroyed some of our sanctuaries. So we let them talk. And now that they think that we love their god, they leave us alone. Some of the things they say are beautiful, and their magic is impressive. But we do not forget our spirits.
One of the theologians told me that you had helped them in their research.
They wanted to find tracks of the old sage, of the one they call Saint Matthäus, and they were rummaging through everything. Our Donegad did not want to tell them anything, because the old sage is sacred here. But since they violently interrogated everyone, I thought it wise to guide them to the place where the stones were.
What happened to your warriors? Why did they have to leave the village?
They did not accept the presence of the priests and their questions. They tried to retake the village. They even asked Deirdre, the chief of Vedlug, for her help. So, the priests called the Soul Lasser, the Burning Suns, and they killed many of them. I asked for peace, and the others left us. They wanted to join Vedlug. Perhaps they have done so.
Aren't you angry after all that happened?
No. I mourn those who died, of course, and the Vorstirent. But this village may be our opportunity.
Your opportunity for what?
For the Renaigse to understand who we are. Not savages, nor monsters, but men, perhaps wiser than they are.
I have to go. father.
I'm glad to see you, my child. What can I do for you?
Tell me about how you created this village.
We did not create it from the ground up. It was built around an existing native. The islanders called it Vixenagad, which translates to the village of the old sage. Ha! We saw it as a sign. The natives have probably chosen this name in memory of St. Matthias, and everything here fit the description of St. Lucius. The discovery of the tablets proved us right. So, we decided to rebuild our Eden here, in the spirit of peace and harmony which is described in the scriptures.
Why share this village with the natives?
To replicate and resume the work of our founder, of course. If he came here and managed to convert the natives, then it is our duty to do the same thing. By living side by side with them, it is much easier for us to pass on our teachings.
How well do you get along with the natives who live here?
Very well, of course. Especially since those who opposed our presence left.
Left? To go where?
Oh, to other villages, I imagine. Does it even matter? Those who stayed are on the path of enlightenment. Some of their legends must have been about St. Matthias. That helped to convince them.
And how well have neighboring villages welcomed you?
With some reluctance, to be perfectly honest. So, we sent them missionaries. There are still frequent conflicts with the village of Vedlug, a highly violent village of heretics. But the other villages, the more peaceful ones, are slowly starting to listen to the sacred word.
There are no Onol Manawi and no warriors here either. Did they all leave?
Perfect harmony takes time, my child. I have no doubt that one day we will manage to convince your kind to convert. But, in the meantime, we must settle for the miracle of great coexistence that this place already represents. Nobody thought we could live side by side with your people. And yet.
I must leave you.
May the enlightened...
I knew that the story would be more complex than we'd been told.
The priests separated this village into two parts. The exiles must be broken-hearted, having left their clan behind.
Had they been wiser and accepted their new neighbors, they'd never have been forced to leave.
Either way, the resentment here is strong enough for a theft to occur.
Тирдоп. Здесь, ну, еще потолкнемся.
You have returned on Almanawi. Do you need something else?
I think I know who stole the tablets.
Really?
I believe those who were exiled from your village seek vengeance because the missionaries forced them to leave. They must have taken the tablets with the help of someone else who stayed here.
You may be right, but you may also be wrong.
I understand why you are no longer the chief, if you do not even know what the inhabitants of your village are doing.
You're right. I was indeed a bad chief. I couldn't even convince those who left to stay.
You do well to tell me what you know. Once the priests have reached the same conclusions as I have, how do you think they will interrogate you?
You're probably right. The Inquisitors would come back, and my people would suffer. I do not want to break the peace that I did all I could to make. I think the name of the woman you are looking for is Vindwal. She helps the priests who seek the old sage.
If she's helping the priests, why would she betray them now?
Her son is one of the warriors who had to leave the village. He is filled with anger and fury. If you go talk to her, please, do not hurt her. She is but a mother who acted according to her son's wishes.
I have no intention of hurting her. But things may not be so simple when it comes to her son. I have to go. Greetings. Are you Vindwal?
Berktir Tumad. Yes, that is me. What do you want?
What can you tell me about Lair, your former leader?
He is a man of peace. Some people dislike him, not me. Everything he did to save the village. But I think the mind shakers made him forget what we are. He almost speaks like them now.
Listen, I know you helped the exiles to steal the tablets of St. Matthias.
No, this is not true. It wasn't me.
There's no point in denying it. I know you did it for your son who had to leave the village.
If you know that, then you know that I don't have the tablets. So what do you want from me?
The only means of alleviating the situation with Ptolemy is to give the priests their tablets back. So if you do not want your son to suffer their wrath, it would be best if I could retrieve them discreetly.
Bran and the rest of the exiles are hiding in the woods, beyond the stone circle. If you want to take the tablets away from them without being seen, do not take the path on the left. It is riddled with traps. And please, do not hurt my son.
Все. Север, да? Это...
May the enlightened protect me in this battle.
Мармеланы. Какие руланы? Монстры.
May the enlightened protect me in this battle.
Found the Dara Grimaterenta!
Your armor is falling apart. Careful, my child. You need healing.
Ну, сука.
My dear child, what can I...
I will see you later.
Take care.
Here's the place that Vindwar indicated. The exiles must be...
These people have been banished already. There's no need to add death to their list of punishments. Let's try not to fight them.
Don't worry, we'll be discreet.
Remember that we were told the area on the left was a trap. It would be smarter to take the other path.
There, we found them. Now all that's left to do is return to Eden. What are you doing here?
I was worried for my son. I wanted to make sure that everything was fine.
I think so. I managed to retrieve the tablets discreetly.
I am glad to hear that you managed to retrieve them. I will go talk to my son now. He needs to stop seeking revenge and find a new clan.
That would indeed be wiser. Vengeance has no positive repercussions. I retrieved your relics.
Thank you. Thank you immensely. Thanks to them, we will be able to continue our research on St. Matthias.
I am curious to know who is responsible for this theft. The culprit must be brought to justice.
I do not want to point the finger at anyone. You have your relics back, and that's the only thing that matters.
Your indulgence honors you. But how can we be certain that these thieves will not strike again if they are not punished?
A good start would be to keep a better watch on the priceless treasures that you find.
Had you respected this village, you would not have to look for a culprit. You settled here without even asking those who lived here for their opinion on the matter. Instead of talking about harmony, start taking action to really make it happen.
But that is precisely what we desire more than anything. We may have been a bit clumsy in the beginning, but we'll make sure to improve things in the future. You really were a great help. I would be most grateful if you agreed to continue helping us.
I might come back at some point, but alas, I am very busy.
Naturally. Either way, we are certainly capable of continuing our research without you.
Actually, I must go back to my work. Our next expedition must depart as soon as possible.
Your next expedition?
Our brave researchers must continue to follow the tracks of our founder on this island. In the meantime, here, take this as a token of gratitude for the help you gave us.
Thank you. I hope your expedition will be a success.
What do you seek?
Can you tell me something about your beliefs?
We believe that we are part of an everything, and that life depends on a balance that comes from this everything. Our strength is drawn from that which we protect. all that surrounds us, and that which surrounds us feeds and protects us in return.
What can you tell me about your rituals?
Ah, I have heard this question before. You sound like the Mind Shaker woman. The rituals are the business of the Donegada, not of the Renoixen. Anything more?
Concerning this story about a sect.
Enough questions. I have nothing more to say. What do you seek?
Concerning this story about...
Enough.
Good day. Are you the wise man of this village?
Burtir Dumad Renaixe. I am a Donegad, yes.
I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
The people of your island are constantly asking questions, yet reject any answers that displease them. Questions have no value when one already claims to know the answers.
But...
It is your case. You believe you know the answers. You seek only their echo. Answer your own questions. At least then the answers will please you, and we shall be done with your foolishness.
That is not what I...
Qua awelemseg. May your answers fill your day with bounty.
Good day. Do you want something?
Could you answer a few questions?
Questions. It is a word that you adore. Let us play a game. If you answer my questions, I will answer yours.
If it is the only way to get answers, then let's play.
I am pleased. We will have fun. But beware, no lies. What name is given the place from where you come?
I come from Serene, a grand city on the continent of Cocaine.
Really? It is possible that you come from there, but I believe that this is not your land. Your turn.
What can you tell me about the rituals?
Oh, I see what interests you. You want to know how our warriors are so strong, but I don't have an answer. It is a secret of the Donegad. The rituals I know are made to celebrate nature, to honor and bring her blessings upon us. Let's try something else. Are you on Olmenawi with your land, or did you inherit your link from your parents?
I am not bound. Or at least I haven't done anything in particular to bind myself.
Then it was your parents. One of them at least must have been Donega. Your turn.
Your village seems different from the others. Why is that?
Each village is different than the others. It is the reflection of those who live in it and of all that surrounds it. Verlug is the village of the lightning-struck wood in your language.
Why do you call it that?
It is said that there was once a great fire that burned all the surrounding woods caused by a storm. But one tree that burns nourishes a new tree, greener and stronger than before the forest returns. We are like her. Even wounded, we rise again, stronger than we were before. Our warriors are known for this by all clans. They fear us. It was fun. More than with the woman who makes light. She did not want to play. Do you want something?
Enough questions.
Traitor. An Olmenawi does not wear the dress of the strange.
Can't you leave us alone, Molisonite?
Leave me be! Even your thoughts are loud and break my beat!
You have a strange stare, Renaixi. Leave me alone.
Renaixi ya toigan quachesa de elodes. Samermila mach de wegander.
Birtir Dumad, Anal Manawi. What do you want?
This question will seem strange to you, but do you know anything about a demon?
A demon?
A dark spirit, if you prefer.
No. There is no such thing as dark spirits. Your question is not strange. Foolish, perhaps.
What can you tell me about your rituals?
Our rituals? Nothing. Nothing at all. They do not concern me. I am not a denegad. Even you should be able to tell that. Why you bother me with these questions? I am only a gatherer. Go and bother someone else.
Tell me about the missionaries that came here. Those who wear the symbol of the sun on their clothing.
When they came, they spoke about their bright and shiny God. They told us we were wrong, said that nature was just nature and not to be worshipped. These men know nothing. We ignored them. They finally left, and then the woman came to us. She sniffed around everywhere, asking many questions, just like you. I was told that she tried to enter my own home. I even saw her trying to follow me in the woods. She must be careful. It is easy to get lost in the woods or cross paths with wild beasts.
You're different from the others. What is your role in this village?
Different? Why?
Well, for one, you answer me when I speak.
You others, when we don't answer you, you start digging for answers everywhere else. I am a gatherer. I hunt a little. I do my part for the life of the village.
What can you tell me about the beliefs of your village?
The beliefs of the village? That is a strange question for an Onol Manawi. Our beliefs are the same as those of the other clans. We believe in the earth that carries us and feeds on our dead, in the rain that quenches us and drowns us, in the beasts that feed us and in those that eat us. I do not know what more I can say to you. Everyone shares these beliefs.
I must leave now.
Go away, Renaixi. You are not...
Ah, you are from the continent, are you not? You are different than the people from here.
Delighted to see you again, Sister Ephesia.
Father Petrus, is that really you? What are you doing here?
Merely a courtesy call.
How might I help you?
Have you been here for a long time?
Since the beginning of my investigation. A few weeks, although it feels like months. I'm not particularly fond of the wild, and I find this place unsettling.
I see.
Anything else?
How has your mission fared up until now, sister?
Not very well, I'm afraid. I haven't been able to get much from these villagers. Their chief and their priest are evasive when questioned. As for the other natives, their behavior can be quite odd. They'll spend hours just staring into the void. But as soon as I come close, they chase me away. They frighten me, I must admit. There is a heavy veil of evil here. I feel it, but I'm not able to find from whence it comes. Perhaps you should talk to them. They may speak to you.
I managed to exchange a few words with some villagers, but they don't seem all that keen to talk.
And did they tell you anything worth sharing?
I know a little more about their beliefs. They worship nature and do not intend to change. It is certainly different from the luminous faith, but it's hardly demonic worship. Yet there is something strange about this village. One of the villagers that spoke with me seemed truly worried. On edge, even.
I think I know of whom you speak. A man always looking over his shoulder. He often sneaks out of the village like a thief. I attempted to follow him, but he always eludes me. I tried to get into his hut to see if he was hiding anything, but someone was always there.
Then we should give it a try. Perhaps we'll fare better.
Anything else?
That will be all, sister.
This fellow did not seem very honest to me. If he's hiding something from us, perhaps we can find out what it is by searching his hut.
He doesn't look inclined to let us in. We'll have to distract him.
We could break one of his pots. That would keep him busy. Or we could ask for help.
I can pretend to be clumsy, but we'll have to be fast, and it will only work once.
Do you want something?
Might I ask you a few questions about the villagers?
More questions? You really like this game. You really do.
If we could avoid...
Very well. But be brief then, because it is not good fun.
Where does this man live?
Down there. His dwelling is right in front of my own.
I would like to take a look inside.
What? Why would you want to do that? It is his home. You have nothing to do there if you are not invited.
I really need to go inside. I must verify something. If you can help us...
This request is strange. I know it is for you as well. But we must prove that the suspicions cast upon our village are not true. These people of Teleme will not give up their search without this.
Very well. I shall distract him, but be discreet and very quick. And be respectful of what you find there. Be good.
Oi! Tigers!
What a horrible mask. How can someone wear such a thing unless they're worshipping some dark creature?
This is just a mask they wear in battle to intimidate their enemies, nothing more.
This altar is incredibly morbid. I wonder what sort of spirit could be venerated in this way.
This is exactly the kind of proof we've been looking for. An evil cult, far from some naive veneration of nature and other island spirits.
The man that worships a magic lamp speaks of being naive. Oh, how it is charming.
Siora, I am sorry. What I really wanted to say...
Leave it, old man. I know exactly what it is you wanted to say.
This painting is frightening, evoking war, a massacre, a bloodbath under the likeness of a grimacing fate.
All these gruesome and bloody horrors leave no room for doubt. There is a demonic cult here. We should go tell Sister Ephesia.
Did you learn anything?
No, nothing more. Were you able to get inside the nervous man's hut?
I was able to sneak into the hut of our mystery man.
And what did you discover?
Some troubling things. A ritual mask, a rather morbid altar, and a fresco depicting a massacre.
By the Enlightened. To think these unholy things were so near. Finally, the proof we need that there's a blood-worshipping cult here. They cannot perform their heinous pagan rituals in the village, and I'm certain that it's where our nervous friend sneaks off to. I failed to find where he goes, but you have already proven more competent than I.
I shall try. Hopefully he will not lead us into a trap.
Thank you for your help. And good luck.
We should wait until nightfall and follow him. Perhaps we could hide and wait here. Then we will be able to see where this sleepless boy goes during nightfall.
My child, it's time to wake up. Our nervous friend is here.
Protect me in this battle!
And the fire engulf our enemies!
Where could our man have gone?
He must have gone through this door, made out of roots. What's happening? You are so pale. Did the lightning-struck tree speak to you?
In a way, I saw many images. They were so real. As if I was the tree itself.
Do tell. This vision is surely the key to the portal.
I was this tree, and my branches were shaken by a storm so strongly that they hurt terribly. The heavens caught fire several times, and I felt the lightning strike and pierce me through and through. A sinister warmth took hold of my entire body in an instant, and flames began to devour me. Life left me. All was calm, and I had a taste of cinder in my mouth. In spite of this, I continued to feel. And the rain began to fall on my roots, and at the very heart of my being, I felt the sap begin to flow again. A shoot appeared on my darkened roots. Then the vision dissipated. I have never experienced anything like it before.
The story of the tree is key. Try to remember.
I was this tree, and my branches were shaken by a storm so strongly that they hurt terribly. The heavens caught fire several times, and I felt the lightning strike and pierce me through and through. A sinister warmth took hold of my entire body in an instant. The flames began to devour me. Life left me. All was calm, and I had a taste of cinder in my mouth. In spite of this, I continued to feel. And the rain began to fall on my roof. And at the very heart of my being, I felt the sap begin to flow again. A shoot appeared on my darkened roof. Then the vision dissipated. This stone bears the image of a storm, or perhaps the wind.
The story of the tree is key. Try to remember.
I was this tree, and my branches were shaken by a storm so strongly that they hurt terribly. The heavens caught fire several times, and I felt the lightning strike and pierce me through and through. A sinister warmth took hold of my entire body in an instant, and flames. The drawing on this stone represents lightning. The drawing on this stone represents lightning. Here, this looks like a snowflake. Snow or maybe ice. This stone is blackened, eaten away. I think it is supposed to evoke death. This stone has an image of the moon. On this stone, the sun is visible. This drawing looks like an infant. Could it represent life? The drawing on this stone makes me think of fire. I'm certain. The drawing on this stone resembles a symbol that must represent the earth. This stone is adorned with the etching of a drop of water.
The story of the tree is key. Try to remember.
I was this tree, and my branches were shaken by a storm so strongly that they hurt terribly. The heavens caught fire several times, and I felt the lightning strike and pierce me through and through. A sinister warmth took hold of my entire body in an instant, and flames began to devour me. Life left me. All was calm, and I had a taste of cinder in my mouth. In spite of this stone has an image of the moon. On this stone, the sun is visible. Evidently, I shouldn't have lit this candle.
Maybe the light will protect me in this battle. May the shadow engulf our enemy.
Tell us again exactly what you saw, my child.
I was this tree, and my branches were shaken by a storm so strongly that they hurt terribly. The heavens caught fire several times, and I felt the lightning strike and pierce me through and through. A sinister warmth took hold of my entire body in an instant, and flames began to devour. This stone is adorned with the etching of a drop of water. The drawing on this stone...
The story of the tree is key. Try to remember.
I was this tree, and my branches were shaken by a storm so strongly that they hurt terribly. The heavens caught fire several times, and I felt the lightning strike and pierce me through and through. A sinister warmth took hold of my entire body in an instant, and flames began to devour me. Life left me. All was calm, and I had a taste of cinder in my mouth. In spite of this, I continued to feel. And the rain began to fall on my room. And at the very heart of my being, I felt the sap begin to flow again. A shoot appeared on my darkened room. Then the vision dissipated. This stone is adorned with the etching of a drop of water. This drawing looks like an infant. Could it represent life?
You did it right. By awakening these stones in the right order, the door opens.
Close duis, atuda yam canadedole, tadulan vrani, alauneles agen ole vei. Closi garamam italami olflinau ich egrem. Closi gedenta yentis olarabeni a ol slai. Franqua sakengeden fradema digalen. Inquid winterbo so galanzani. Togondernis gremos nigawi. Renkasie krimaderem denegau edent. Los duis aruyet nes diri.
Lois de Raman Ades Gideon, Arenta. Eswar Nufradi, Damagengeran, Yadiga Ladandian. Eswar Nufradi, Dawidashidon. Agespar Nufradi, Dawigrebosanagui.
What a strange ritual. I have never seen anything like it. The rituals of my village are not quite as scary.
In any case, Teleme's story suddenly sounds way more plausible. The Donegat who performed the ritual was the villagers. We should go talk to Dedra.
What do you seek?
We found your sanctuary and assisted in one of your blood rituals. Was the apparition we witnessed the demon the priests were talking about?
What is clear is these priests know nothing, and you know nothing.
The ritual. I've never seen anything like it. I hoped you'd be able to explain what they were trying to achieve. As you can see, my companion is not a Renaigze like the others. She bears our likeness. Please share your knowledge with us. Grant us the chance to understand.
Very well. I'll attempt to help you make sense of what you witnessed. The ritual you saw is a ceremony to summon forth the strength of our warriors. Our people have always lived in harmony with nature. Our very existence revolves around her. She talks to us and takes on many faces. What you've witnessed is just one of many. Confronting the threat that the Renoixi make up, we called them for their blessing, and they appeared to us.
Can we contact them? I mean, is communication possible?
What you witnessed was not a discussion. But if you visit a sanctuary, you may see one of the faces, and then you will be able to talk. Pass the mountains and head to the swamps. There, if you perform the ritual, you will see them come. Though what you will hear may not be to your liking. What do you seek?
Speaking of a demon...
I already told you. The only... Anything more?
I need to be going.
Wow, well, I'm...
What a strange party we have here. Who are you to come and disrupt our solitude?
Good day. We...
You are on Olmenawi and at the same time Renaigse. So it is possible to bond yourself on your faraway island.
We are here because Tuleme has asked us to carry out an investigation. They think that certain clans venerate a demon, an evil creature. We carried out our investigation of Vedlog on Chief Deirdre in an attempt to discover the truth, and the clues have led us to find our answers in this sanctuary.
Deirdre sent you to seek out a demon? Curious. A man from your island came already a long time ago, full of questions. He was as well. He had a small party of warriors with smoking tubes, and on their chests, a golden lion.
A lion?
The coat of arms of the Bridge Alliance. In our territory. Such boldness.
They set up a camp near here, and then they disappeared, all of a sudden.
Do you know where, precisely?
It was a long time ago. I don't remember all that well. My memory has been leaving me of late. But it wasn't far from here. You will find it, I am certain. Ah! You are bringing back the memories. They were asking me the same question you asked. You should be looking for your old reflection in the marsh. Strange stranger. You will find your path. Only then shall we speak.
Fresco. It represents a beast of the marshes, a red serpent. A fresco. It represents a beast of the marshes, a red serpent. The image is fading. I can't see much of any. A fresco in various yellow hues. It represents a sort of insect.
What do you want, strange stranger?
We found the camp you spoke of. Well, all that remains of it.
I told you. You were not the first Renaxi went by here.
Many died. What happened to them?
I warned them, I remember. They did not listen very well. Too bad. Their weapons were strange and powerful, but not enough, sir. The marsh is more powerful still.
That doesn't seem to bother you all that much.
Teofradi gives, Teofradi takes back.
But you're still here. What do you want again?
I found this note. It speaks of a ritual, but it is incomplete. Do you know anything else about it?
A ritual? Yes, there is a ritual for the impatient. For me, it serves no purpose. I am here. I wait.
But for me, it would be useful. Can you help me?
There must have a reason. The folly of you. Do you see those drums over there? They awaken the earth, as long as you play them correctly.
Awaken the earth?
Oh, and that's not all. Once the earth is awakened, the stone will appear that must be quenched.
Quench a stone?
But you're still here. What do you want again?
We found many documents.
The marsh
That doesn't suit you, friend.
But you...
I found it speaks, but for me,
do you
awaken, quench.
But you...
How do you play the drums?
Oh, that's easy. The music is the first language of Teofardi. It resonates with the earth. You need only respect the natural order for the earth to hear you. A predator, a prey, the cycle.
That's not really all that clear.
Come now, come now. You must first make the snake rattle, unless it is first to build the insect. Time devours all memories. I do remember one thing though.
I'm listening.
Each drum must only be played one time, and only once.
But you're still here. What do you want again?
Quench a stone? What does that mean?
Water trickles on the stone and returns to us, empowered by its force. But sometimes, water is not enough.
This note I found explains a recipe. A potion thought to contain the essence of this place. Is that what must be poured over the stone?
Oh, yes. No doubt. No doubt.
But you're still here. What do you want again?
Nothing.
Ну, сука.
Karams, do you need some? I must leave.
My dear child,
I will see you later.
take care.
Evidently, we made a mistake.
Maybe a lightning bolt continues
Evidently, we made a mistake.
Maybe a lightning bolt hit me in the
Evidently, we made a mistake.
Понимаю. Так.
Evidently, we made a mistake. Something's appeared over there. It seems as if it's some type of altar. It looks like an altar. This... What is it?
Понимаю. Одного, да, он должен. Ну давай.
You knew her, old man? Before she became a Nadag?
May the earth swallow you whole. You and those from their dark oil. They must all be destroyed. But Enolmil Fritimen will stop them. He will chase you all away. Murderers! His hunt has begun!
Calm down. We didn't have a choice. We were only defending ourselves.
Siora, what is he talking about? Why is he so furious? And who is Enolmir Frictiman?
I believe he is furious because he knew the Nadai before she bonded. He mourns her in this way. It was a Donegad who received very much power and who traded herself completely.
Are you saying that that creature was once a woman?
Yes, like you and me. Anyone who draws upon the power of the earth becomes one of their faces in exchange. As for your other question, Enolmir Frichtemann means one of 1,000 faces.
This name rings a bell. I've heard it before. It is surely the name of the demon we seek to expose.
I doubt that you can understand. Enough to think that this being wants to harm us. Perhaps it is the source of the miracle.
And why is that? Why would the source of your sickness come from here?
I don't know, Ziora. But didn't this man just say that this being would hunt us down? We need to learn more.
А мне откроет-то это двери-то, Алёши? Нет, не откроет. Я понимаю. Меня откроют, да? Усюки. Ладно, я с вами.
You survived. Which must mean, alas, that one of the Nadaig is with us no longer. You are a great warrior. You could almost be a storm warrior. What do you seek?
You have set a trap for us, invoking and releasing that creature.
It is true. And the Nadaig is indeed one of the faces, a spirit of the Isle. I was hoping that you would disappear. The swamps do not like to give back those who enter. You have seen things that no stranger to our clan has ever seen. Secrets that no one must know. But you survived. You are strong. I should not have thought you so weak.
The ritual. This is how you prepared the blood sap. What are you talking about, Ziora?
No one knows the recipe. But it is the very barn that allows her warriors to enter into a trance and to rise again when they have fallen.
It is true. You do not know the ingredients, but you know now how the blessing works. I have nothing more to give you than my excuses, and that you keep to yourself all that you have seen. You are brave on Almanawi, and I would like to request your help.
You request my help after sending me on a suicide mission?
You helped us to find the camp of the Soul Lasser, and you have proven your valor fighting the Nada. So yes, I am asking for your help in saving the people who are suffering in this camp.
What do you intend to do exactly?
Attack and destroy this camp and those who live in it to set my people free.
And how am I supposed to help you?
My clan is powerful, but so are these Soul Lasser. I need more warriors. Estelle of the Gaius Rad is in my debt, but I'm afraid she might refuse to honor it after her clan was defeated. You know how to talk to people, and you are friends with her twin sister. I would like you to go and convince her to help me.
I suppose I could try, at least.
That would be good. It would also be good if you could fight alongside us to set these prisoners free. Meet us near the camp with the forces you managed to assemble.
I do not want to interrupt, but I think our priority should be to find Cornelia. I doubt our Mother Cardinal is aware of the Inquisition's action. She will certainly want to put an end to it all to appease the native. Whereas, a frontal assault led by Deirdre and her men would only rekindle the conflict. And Cornelia would certainly take umbrage at an intervention of the congregation without even informing her of the situation.
Oh, there you are, Your Excellency. The Enlightened has heard my prayers.
What's going on? Where are the others?
After deciphering the content of the tablets, they went north to continue their research in some swamps. But they must have encountered problems. Brother Fidelis came back here and he was in a dreadful state. He most likely came to seek help, but he fainted. It's impossible for us to know what happened to them.
I am not a doctor, but I may be able to examine him.
Oh, please do. Any help would be appreciated. We've done our best, but our magic has proved inefficient. And the healer we sent for will certainly arrive too late from San Mateus.
Поговорить?
This man is burning up with fever, and he bears several bite marks and traces of blows.
The blows did not put him in this state. He looks like a victim of poisoning. With the right antidote, I think we could get him back on his feet.
Have you tried giving him any antipoison?
Of course, but to no avail. And what if it were a hex cast by the heretics?
No matter what happens, you always suspect them.
Why, of course. The savages are always to blame. The man was in the swamp. There are some rare animals there, and their venom is terrible. A healer from the area will know the antidote.
We could ask Lair. He will direct us to someone who understands remedies.
А, так он живой еще. Я думаю, до того уже отбросил коньки.
Honor Manawi, you've come back to see old Lair. I heard that you managed to retrieve the tablets.
Did Vindwar tell you?
Yes, and I feel more at peace, knowing that our brothers are alive, and that they will be able to join another clan. And you proved me right. Peace with the Renaigse is possible.
I need your advice. You may already know that one of the researchers came back wounded from the expedition.
I heard about it.
He has all the symptoms of a poisoning, but the anti-poisons we gave him had no effect. He must have been bitten by a creature of the swamp, and we're looking for a healer who would know of a suitable antidote.
So, you came to see me. Interesting. Our neighbors did not think for one moment that we could be helpful. Alas, our Donegat is one of the exiles. But Vindwal knows plants well. She will know.
Thank you. I will go see her. I hope she agrees to help us. I have to go.
Lloyd.
Так. Побежали, побежали. Так, где она есть? Наверху, да? Он не стоит.
Here you are again. What do you want?
What can you tell me about Lair, your former leader?
He is a man of peace. Some people dislike. I think the mind almost.
I have come to ask for your help. Lair told me you know about remedies.
I do know a few of them. I have learned about plants. I used to want to become a Donega.
One of the researchers came back wounded from the expedition. Apparently, he was
Покусала,
bitten by a
нефиг было
creature of the
лезть.
swamp.
And now he has the Lawollen fever. We have a good knowledge about this affliction. He will die if he does not receive proper treatment.
Do you know which antidote should be given to him?
Yes. These priests are idiots. They could have asked for our help, but they treat us like children. You are different. And you have allowed my son to join a new clan. So, I will give you the potion to cure the priest. Wait a moment. Make him drink this remedy and he'll get better.
Thank you, Vindwar.
Where am I?
You're in Eden. You are safe.
Was I unconscious for a long time? The other members of the expedition, they are in danger. The swamp is so hostile. We weren't prepared for it. Some of our people have disappeared.
What caused these wounds?
A nightmarish creature. The swamp is full of them. A colleague and I had left to fetch some help when we were attacked. I managed to run away, but I don't know what happened to him.
Да поможем сейчас, чё? Проблемы, что ли?
You must go help them.
Show me the location of your colleagues on the map. I will join them.
There. Please, hurry.
Thank you. You should rest now.
Что, погнали? Как всегда, спасать мир. Ну, кажется, откроют ворота. Так.
I do not remember there being a path in this place the last time we came.
You're perfectly right, my child. This passage must have been cleared by the expedition. We should follow it.
Так, теперь аккуратненько.
Hey, what's happening here? I could hear you from miles away.
Your Excellency, I'm so happy to see you. You arrived right on time to settle this matter.
How did you manage to find us in the middle of this swamp?
Brother Fidelis managed to reach Eden. He's the one who told us where your camp was.
But he didn't leave alone. What happened to Father Orbricus, who was accompanying him?
He must be dead, like our other companions. This is all your fault. This is yet more proof that you are not fit to lead such a team. I should be the one in charge.
Maybe you should calm down and explain to me what's happening here.
This expedition was undertaken with no concern for common sense. We are not equipped to explore this type of place. Our people are disappearing, and all we have found are some falsified writings.
Brother Virgil is terrified, which probably explains why he is being so disingenuous. We have made incredible discoveries, and we could find more.
You are beyond redemption. I won't waste another second talking to you. If you want to talk to me, Your Excellency, it will have to be without her.
How charming.
Так. Я так понимаю, тут я туда не пройду. Значит, сейчас мы немножко... Я вернусь, ребят. Наверное. Может, не вернусь. Может, загнаться. Кайф. Никак. Все-таки говорить с вами придется, ребята. Так, стоп, сейчас мы здесь проверим в проходнике. А, вот. Угу. Опа.
Protect me in this battle. Protect me in this battle.
Так. Наверх. Тут есть набираться, лечить. Кто? Понимаю. Так, ладно. Я потом заберусь с ним. Ой, я заберусь с ним. А, можно заменить. А, не, вот, нет. Ну ты, конечно, хочешь начать. Ой. Ох, ладно. Оп. Блин, здесь наверх. Нифига он там скачет. Опа. Давай. Ух ты, это... Злобные хрени. Чуть не завалил.
Protect me in this battle.
Где-то здесь должен быть труп, насколько я знаю. Судя по заданию там был. Можно поставить. Так, разбил я, ладно. Неужели в самом последнем? Я где-то пропустил, или тут его и вообще не было. А, может вот эту дверь открыть надо? Нет? Что там говорится-то? Обращаясь, который будет рекомендовал, мой брат пошел из любопытства, так и не вернулся, найдет твое тело, прошу конечно, решение при нем, возьмите силы на раз за доброе дело. Так, и где его, и этот самый того искать-то? Что я пропустил? Я где-то пропустил его? Или может он что-то за какой-то там появится потом хрена стеной? А может он не здесь вообще? Это Нил. Нет, Нил, Ней. Неправильно, вот Нил здесь. Это что? Такое дерево? Что такое? Либо я где-то его не нашел, либо он не тут. Ладно, пойдем поможем этим экспедиторам. Мне кажется, я тут не нашел. Или тупо он находится с другой стороны.
I hope you will forgive us for that scene. My relations with Virgil have always been difficult, but ever since we arrived here, it has been unbearable. I'm afraid we may need an arbiter.
Before anything else, I need to know what has led to this situation between you.
What would you like to know?
For what reason were you quarreling?
The expedition itself, I'm afraid. Virgil was always against it, especially under my supervision. For him, our discoveries in Eden were sufficient. They confirmed what he wanted. The rest did not matter. According to him, we should never have continued. And when we found new tablets, it became even worse.
Were they also written by Saint Matthias?
Without a doubt. The handwriting is the same. There are also some patterns, some islander symbols. It's fascinating. But what really angers Virgil is the content we managed to decipher. Our founder explains that he learned a lot from the islanders. Something our brother cannot accept. He now persists in saying that these tablets are fake, forged by the natives themselves.
Brother Fidelis told me that several members of the expedition have disappeared.
Yes, that's why he left along with Father Orbricus to fetch some help. 3 more of our colleagues are missing. I'm not even talking about the ones who fell ill. I must admit that I underestimated the hardships we would encounter. I made a mistake. I should have prepared this expedition more thoroughly. But Virgil's being disingenuous does not help.
And no one has searched for those who are missing.
I wanted us to search for them, but someone later convinced me that it presented too much of a risk. Along with lack of preparation, our constantly decreasing number, and creatures swarming the area.
And by someone, I suppose you mean Brother Virgil.
Indeed.
I'm thankful for these pieces of information. But you understand that I will also have to talk to Brother Virgil.
Of course, that's understandable. You must hear us both before you can make a decision.
Brother Virgil.
What do you want?
Can you explain to me what caused such a quarrel?
The reason for it is very simple. It is Eugenia's folly. This woman should never have been the supervisor of our team. The discoveries made in Eden were sufficient, but no. She didn't want to stop the research. She organized this expedition in a hurry, without taking elementary precautions, and now she's accepting as facts the delirious writings we discovered on these tablets without doubting them for even 1 second.
What do you mean?
We found some new tablets, allegedly written by Saint Matthias, but their content is so absurd that they were obviously forged. I'm certain that the natives must have found these stones before us and modified their content.
How would they have done that? The natives cannot write.
They must have been helped by an unscrupulous settler. How would I know?
Brother Fidelis told me that some of your colleagues went missing. Do you know anything about this?
They did not go missing. They were killed. There was the wild beasts, the diseases, and let's not forget the savages. We can feel their presence, roaming around the camp at night. I am certain that they are responsible for the death of our colleagues.
That's strange. There aren't many villages around here.
There aren't any. There are a few hermits, but they are not fighters. And they have better things to do than roam around their camp at night.
We've been in this region before, and the only native we met was a little insane, but would have been incapable of killing several priests.
Those savages may very well have been following us since our departure. We will not be safe on this island until it is entirely converted.
I see. So, you haven't tried to find your colleagues?
So we can die as well. I am not as crazy as Sister Eugenia.
I cannot take sides in your quarrel for now. And in any case, it is not what matters the most. Even if you think they are dead, we have to try finding your colleagues.
Well, if you are prepared to take such a risk, I can only commend you for your bravery and wish you luck. But I would not get my hopes up. You should start by searching the excavation site. To get there, take the path south of here. But be careful. The creatures that roam the area are ruthless.
Понимаю. Так. Может быть. Жаль. А, тут лесенка есть. Я не заметил, что он тут есть. А что делать наука?
This man's skull is sunken, but he doesn't look like he was in a fight. Could he have fallen?
That is unlikely. Look, my child. The wound is located at the back of the skull. I regret to say that in my opinion he was struck from behind, with a mace, most likely.
Ну-ка. Какой у меня уровень науки? Интуиция, наука, второй. Сейчас мы... поколдуем и сделаем улучшить. Да. Что теперь скажет, интересно?
This man's death was no accident, nor was it linked to any predator attack. It was caused by a violent strike to the back of the skull with a mace, and it didn't take place here. The marks surrounding the body show that it was moved. most likely to make it seem like he fell to his death. This man's death was no accident, nor was it linked to any predator attack. It was caused by a violent strike to the back of the skull with a mace, and it didn't take place here. The marks surrounding the body show that it was moved, most likely to make it seem like he fell to his death.
May the enlightened protect me in this battle.
The body of this man was devoured by beasts, but it happened after he died. One of the wounds is clearly a knife wound. But alas, it is impossible to know who was wielding it. This poor soul was almost entirely devoured. He must have been killed by swamp animal. Even so, this wound looks different from the others. It looks like a knife wound.
You're right. He was stabbed before being fed to the animals. But anyone could have used such a blade.
These fang marks were impressive. The poor man didn't have a chance. He must have been attacked by a large reptile. Most likely a Lawon. But what was he doing alone, so far from the camp? It seems obvious now that these disappearances were orchestrated.
The deaths of these people were a deception. Only the Renaigse are deceitful enough to do such a thing. They kill each other and accuse my people. This virgin, he wants to push aside this woman at all cost. He must be defied.
Indeed. I think that we should go find this brother and ask for an explanation.
Круто, задумка-то.
Brother Virgil.
Your Excellency, weren't you supposed to be looking for our colleagues?
Indeed. I regret to say that they are indeed all dead.
I knew it. What a waste. Eugenia and her recklessness are to blame for this.
I'm afraid someone else is responsible for this. These deaths are not accidental, and yet they were disguised as such.
The savages. Their thirst for blood is unquenchable. I knew we should never have come without an escort.
Watch your tongue, priest. Our people have no need to hide when they protect their land. Only the Renaigse are deceitful enough to disguise a death.
Who else could it be?
Someone who desperately wanted this expedition to fail. Does that remind you of anyone?
Fine. You unmasked me. But know that my cause is righteous. The Order Luminous sent me to keep an eye on this expedition, to ensure that the discoveries we made would not jeopardize our nation or our presence on this island. But the inscriptions on the tablets are a heresy, a dangerous manipulation. Can you imagine what would happen if it was said that our founder listened to the teachings of the natives? But even then, foolish Eugenia accepted these discoveries as truth, without any hesitation, without realizing that our entire nation could suffer because of it. So yes, I wanted to scare her.
I understand that you might want to protect your nation, but to go as far as assassinating several of your colleagues...
Come now. What would you do if someone were threatening the congregation? You cannot make me believe that you would not be willing to kill. You may have already done so. But since you want to avoid using violence, help me convince Eugenia to go back to Eden. My colleagues and I know how to sort through these discoveries. And you will be rewarded, of course.
This Renaigse tried to blame my people for these crimes. The priests would have wanted to punish them, and innocent people would have died. He must answer for his treachery.
It is undeniable that these discoveries could cause a great upset in Taleme. But he has no right to decide what should be revealed or not. On this island, Cornelia should be the one to decide. Be careful with your accusations, though. Eugenia and her colleagues are on edge. We wouldn't want them to start killing each other.
Итак, если я прикажу покинуть лагерь, значит, эти будут думать, что, в принципе, их погрызли звери, он останется живой.
Sorry, Brother Virgil, but I cannot accept. You will take your belongings and leave this place. The research will continue, and their discoveries will be studied by wiser people than you. The decision to reveal them or not will be theirs.
I see. My colleagues and I will go back to Eden. I hope that you don't regret your decision.
Все, так быстро смылись. Да.
Alas, I have found the dead bodies of your colleagues.
How horrible! But how? Oh, perhaps I should have listened to Brother Virgil.
I doubt it. Brother Virgil is responsible for these deaths. He was hoping to blame the natives for them and discredit you.
What? But why would he?
He will have to answer for his crime. As I do not have the authority to arrest him, I sent him back to Eden. If you want him to face judgment, you will have to report what happened to the Mother Cardinal.
You are right. As soon as we get back to civilization, I will make sure that she hears about it. Once more, your help has been a blessing.
Take this. Alas. We will have to go back to Eden as well. There are too few of us to continue the research. Were you hoping to discover more?
Of course. This place was but a single step in St. Matthias's journey. The last tablets speak of a journey northbound, further up in the swamp. But even if Virgil is no longer a threat, we are not sufficiently well equipped to go there.
We could go there for you if you wish. You just have to tell us where to look.
That would be marvelous. Of course, you would have to start from the excavation site where he wrote this. I think I noticed a path going north when I was there, actually. Look for any traces of life. Perhaps you will be lucky enough to find more of his writings. That would be fantastic.
Don't worry. I will conduct this research and come find you here if I uncover anything.
Так, понимаю. Так, сразу пойдем. Эти уголя давать. Да сласти.
I've never been that far into this one, but if I was to live here, I would look for a drier place.
Здравствуйте. А мне надо убить его, да? Здравствуйте. Энергичность. Взлом пускай будет у нас. Здесь нас что нам надо? А, здесь нам надо меткость. А что вообще у нас там есть? О, какой-то модный мечик.
A cavern. Hermits often choose places like this when they want to live away from the world.
Там хер. Так, стоп. Сейчас мы... сделаем красиво. Так, кто Курт, да? Где у нас? Курт. Забудьте выйти, да? Нет, не Курт. А, нет, Курт. Улучшение, выработка ярости. 4. Физический урон. Ой, что-то не то. Меч кому-нибудь, кто со мной будет так. Его надо принять, составить код, набрать нахуй. Петрус принять, подходить и выйти. Петрус. 187. Пусть колечко. Во, пускай он с ним бродит там. Хер бородатый. Кто со мной в группе? Что там стоите? Так, кто со мной? Петрус и это нахрен Петрус. Живи и радуйся. Все, гнали отсюда. Ладно, гнали. Решить. Молодцы, ребят. Так, о чем я спина? Фу, ну не больше. Кусанех. Кто?
This is incredible. People lived here, and amongst them Saint Matthias, perhaps. It must be one of this place.
May the Almighty protect me in this battle! It's gonna engulf our enemies!
Опс. Слишком быстро.
May the Enlightened protect me in this battle! May the Enlightened protect me in this battle!
Придурочные овцы. Опа. Вот это, конечно, сейчас круто было. Либо перегружен, кайф. Норм. Качиваю, чтобы их можно было бродить.
These murals are magnificent. If St. Matthias did come here, this is where he must have settled.
Let's take a closer look at these paintings. We may learn something from them. This mural is very ancient. It depicts an old man dressed as a priest, getting his face painted by a masked native. This mural depicts an old man praying in front of a face in the mountain. He's holding a rosary. Saint Matthias, praying to Enon Milfrichtemen. I do not know these glyphs, but these spirals are native symbols. There are some words in our ancient language next to them. The light and the earth are the two faces of a same power. It's impossible to know if this is a translation or another sentence. But this is a message that would seriously displease the Inquisitors.
I cannot believe it. These symbols, they are signs used in the secret writing of the Donegada.
Engraved tablets. They resemble the ones we recovered in Eden. We should take them with us. The researchers would be delighted to study. There are some native symbols here and some letters I recognize. As if someone had tried to write in the native language using our alphabet. Men dwi stad in on mil frig.
It means, welcome us amongst your people, Enon Milflichtem.
This is incredible. Saint Matthias would have known about the spirit of the island and would have prayed to him. This mural is very ancient. It depicts an old man dressed as a priest, getting his face painted by a masked native.
I don't know if you realize the importance of what we've just discovered. Saint Matthias, the founder of Ptolemy, finished his life worshipping the islanders' god. This is so incredible. Although it will cause a huge upset for our nation, our cult, and our relations with the natives.
I wonder what I should do with these relics. Eugenia probably didn't imagine that Saint Matthias lived his life in a way that's so different from what they advocate. As for Virgil, he wasn't wrong. Such a revelation will certainly cause a schism in Ptolemy.
I understand you must be concerned. Great revelations are often followed by a trail of blood. But if what we found was revealed, my people could live in peace with the priests at last.
I already took sides in their quarrel. If I change my mind, I'm afraid that it might be seen as treason. I'll think about it on the way there. Let's go back to the researchers' camp.
So, did you find anything? Or do you need my help?
We discovered a cave that was inhabited a long time ago by a whole group of people, mostly natives, who had obviously created a sacred site, as the place was guarded by a creature.
And have you found traces of our holy founder? New relics? Perhaps some tablets?
Someone from the mainland had probably lived there, but they must have died quickly. Unfortunately, though, I have found no irrefutable proof of San Mateus's presence.
What a shame. And you did not find a grave?
No, and I searched well. He must have been buried elsewhere.
It's strange. So far, we have always found traces of his journey. I would have loved to have been there with you, to be able to realize it for myself.
It would not have been a good idea. The area is very dangerous, teeming with creatures.
Excuse me. I should be more grateful to you. You took a big risk. It's just disappointing. I think we should pack our things and return to Eden. Perhaps I can convince my colleagues to organize another, better armed expedition.
Goodbye, sister.
So,
we discovered there were also frescoes on the site, representing Saint Mateus.
Frescoes? Tell me more. This is fascinating.
He was shown having his face painted by a native. On another, he prayed to the god of the mountain.
You can't be serious. You mean to say that our saint converted to the cult of the Islander?
That is what emerges from our findings, yes. Other objects that I was able to bring back also point in this direction. Look, there are inscriptions. These tablets and also this chaplet.
This chaplet? I cannot believe it. It is so... Excuse me. I cannot find the words to express how I feel. You must come with me. We must go and present all these discoveries to the Mother Cardinal. You realize our entire dogma will have to change. So far, anyone who wanted to question it would have burned their fingers. Literally, alas.
And you think that this time they'll listen?
We have solid proof. All this evidence. With your support, we will convince her to reveal the truth.
I see. I will do my best to help you.
It seems we are arriving right on time. You did well to warn us, Brother Virgil.
Virgil? How did you know?
I'm afraid that Your Excellency's lies weren't very convincing.
We were informed of your discoveries and of the danger they represent. We demand that you hand them over to us immediately, so that they can be destroyed.
How can you even suggest the destruction of relics written by the hand of our founder?
Out of love for our dogma, for our faith, and for our nation. But since you refuse to comply with our orders, you leave us no choice.
Death to the heretics!
May the enlightened protect me in this battle!
Нет, все-таки.
So, did you find anything?
We discovered it mostly.
And have you found...
Someone from the mainland.
Unfortunately, what a shame.
No.
It's strange.
It would not have...
Excuse, it's just... Perhaps I can...
Goodbye, sister.
Your Excellency, have you come to mock the future convict? Or do you fear that I will kill someone else?
You committed terrible crimes, and you wanted to manipulate me. But your motivations were not meaningless, especially in light of what we finally discovered.
Would you admit that I was right?
In a manner of speaking, yes. I continued my research at the swamp at the request of Sister Eugenia, and I discovered a cave in which Saint Matthias had lived in the company of the islanders. There were frescoes and relics at the site, which clearly indicated that your founder had converted to the cult of the natives. I brought back some of the objects I found there. Look.
Incredible. This is his pewter jacket. But these tablets, they are terribly disturbing. Do you realize the impact these discoveries will have? Is Eugenia aware of this?
No. I told her I hadn't found anything. I thought that such revelations would bring more harm than good.
You cannot imagine how much. It would no doubt mean civil war, and for what? The wanderings of an old man who probably became senile. This is heartbreaking, Your Excellency, but you did the right thing. I'm going to destroy these objects, and I'll have to ask you for one last service. The cave must also be eradicated. Sister Eugenia will very likely want to return there.
You're right. Especially as she didn't seem totally convinced by my lie. I'll take care of it.
Excellent. I am eternally grateful to you. Destroy the cave and join me in San Matthias. I need your help to convince the Mother Cardinal to stop the search.
You can count on me.
Вот ты как поступить? Не, наверное, мы обнародуем все это фигню.
So, we discovered a cave and there were also fresco. He was shown you. That is, look. Excuse me. I cannot find the word. You must come. You realize so far. And you think that we have? I see.
It seems we but death.
Maybe anyone can protect me in this battle.
Ух ты как он умеет, да?
So, we discovered most and there were all three that look. You and you. I see.
It seems we are we but death.
Maybe anyone can protect me in this battle. May the shadow engulf our enemies.
Do you think you can face this?
Oh, my child, you need ease.
Do you think you can face a woman of faith? I cannot believe that I just fought my own brothers in faith. The fact that the Inquisition is after us is very disturbing, Excellency.
We would do well to hasten to San Matthias. They will not dare to attack you there. And we will have to take care of Bishop Domitius. He will do everything he can to discredit us.
You are right. All this proves is that I will not succeed without your help. There is a risk that the Mother Cardinal will also reject our discoveries.
And if you will allow me to attend the hearing, I would be delighted to support you.
Your help will be precious to us, Father. In any case, we must present our research to Mother Cardinal as soon as possible. I will study the tablets one last time to make sure I know all their content, and I will meet you at the palace in San Mateus to plead our case.
Understood. See you soon, Sister Eugenia. Be careful.
Ну, блядь, такое на самом деле. Что, может их не бить? Уже, блядь, кустами поросли. Так, как быть? Тут я не убью, никто, наверное, не помрет.
So, we discovered a cave. Mostly. And have you? Someone, unfortunately, it was perhaps goodbye.
Your Excellency.
That you're in, and I did what I brought. No,
Visit the cave.
you're right.
right there, Desade.
Sister Eugenia, what are you doing here? How did you...
Your lies did not deceive me. And when I saw you go to Eden, I understood. You found things in this cavern, but you did not want to reveal them to the world. So we followed you. It wasn't difficult. You've killed almost all the creatures nearby.
Listen, what's hidden in this cave will certainly cause a schism, perhaps even a civil war. If we want to prevent more people from dying, we must destroy this cave.
You talk like Virgil. But what is the value of dogma if built on lie? These discoveries may be difficult to admit in Teleme, but here, on this island, they will bring peace.
Sorry, sister, but I've already made my decision. I gave the relics to Virgil to destroy them.
That's monstrous. How could you? I will not let you destroy the cave too. Saint Matthias, guide my arm.
You think you know?
Не-не-не-не-не.
So,
we discovered a cave and have... There were also 3 letters of execution sent by sea.
It seems we have it.
Don't hesitate. Goodbye. May the enlightened always keep you in his divine blessing.
Your Excellency. We were eagerly awaiting your arrival. Sister Eugenia was just recounting me the tale of your achievements and telling me about the incredible discoveries you've made.
These relics shed a new light on the last years of our founder. It all demonstrates that he hadn't evangelized the islanders, but, on the contrary, he would even have adopted some of their rituals, merging the cult of the enlightened and the cult of nature in a single dogma.
These discoveries, if they can be verified, are extraordinary. But they also represent a great upheaval that could harm our nation. We must first verify their authenticity. You are the only ones who entered this cave. Could what you have witnessed be a falsification?
We discovered ancient frescoes on the walls of the cave. They represent Saint Matthias without a doubt. He's depicted with his chaplet. In one, he is praying for the divinity of the island. In the other, his face was being painted by a native. I understand how shocking these discoveries are, but their antiquity proves that they are genuine.
The tablets found at the site, however, attest that our founder had not abandoned the cult of the enlightened. He simply saw it as two different reflections of the same divine power.
The entrance to the cave was protected by one of those giant creatures that the natives call a Nardaig. These guardians usually protect sacred places and let no one enter without a fight. I had to kill this beast, which leads me to think that nobody had entered the cave for a very long time. The cavern we discovered is located in a very remote place. There's no island or village nearby. It contains some ruined dwellings, but clearly no one has lived there for a very long time. Fraudsters would inevitably have left traces of their passage, and we have not found any.
The relics could be authentic, Your Excellency, but we only have your word to convince us. The political and religious impact of these discoveries will be unprecedented. We risk schism, civil war, and who is to say that this is not a plan to weaken us?
It seems that you only see the negative aspects of this discovery, but the reality is very different. By integrating some of the natives' beliefs into your dogma, you could build an alliance with them. Something no other nation has managed to achieve before.
What good is such a reproach if our nation has fallen into chaos?
Your Eminence, all of this is grotesque and dangerous. The congregation is clearly trying to ridicule us. Even if these frescoes are real and old, who's to say they represent reality? This is surely the naive vision that the islanders had of our founder, nothing more. Our duty is to bury all this in order to preserve our nation from the heretical beliefs of the savages.
You were so eager to bury our discoveries that you were ready to bury us with them. A group of the Ordo Luminis attacked us while we prepared to come here.
Really? Your Eminence, I assure you that I had no idea. We would never harm a diplomat. It was probably the desperate action of an overly fervent group. But, alas, it is a fair reflection of what will happen if these discoveries are made public.
You are responsible for the members of the Ordo Luminis on this island, Domitius. I am counting on you to ensure that this kind of act never happens again.
Your Eminence, we are faced with a crucial choice for our nation. What does a man of faith do in such a dilemma? He prays and places his trust in the one who came before him and has shown more wisdom. Saint Matthias shows us a new way. If we are believers, can we really turn our backs on him?
You surprise me, Petrus. You who are always so political, yet your words seem sincere. You give me something to think about. Thank you.
If my people knew that the great sage they had long respected is the same man as your saint, and that your priests respected our culture as he did, they would be welcomed here as brothers.
And the Eden we wanted to build would be everywhere. You speak sense, Princess. Does anyone wish to add anything?
I understand your doubts about the future, which are inevitably caused by such a revelation. You hesitate just as St. Lucius did to tell us about the journey of his master, yet in the end he revealed what he knew, and his words still guide Tulane today.
Thank you for your testimony. I will now retire to think about everything and make my decision. After careful consideration, I have decided that it is my duty to reveal your discoveries to the world. It will take years for our theologians to study all of this, but our dogma must follow the path opened by Saint Matthias.
Thank you, Your Eminence. I would be delighted to help with the study of these relics.
I don't doubt it, my dear. And I would like you to take me to see this cave. I look forward to worshipping at the place where our holy founder ended his days. As for you, Your Excellency, I thank you for the help you have given us. Your sincere insight has encouraged me to make this difficult decision.
It was my pleasure.
Let me also thank you, Your Excellency. Without you, we would still be in the shadows.
Your Eminence, I salute you.
Lady de Sardet, what can I do for you?
I have come to inform you of the existence of a secret camp created by the Inquisitors of the Ordo Luminis. From what we know, they abduct natives and take them there to torture them and convert them by force, and those who refuse to renounce their faith, despite their suffering, are shot in cold blood.
What? Where did you hear such things?
From the natives themselves, Mother Cardinal. But surely Bishop Domitius will be able to tell us more about it.
This is nothing but a web of lies that those pagan natives invented to harm us, Your Eminence. There's nothing here that could...
Enough, Domitius. If the natives are complaining to the congregation about the exactions of the Inquisition, it is our duty to intervene.
In that case, we should act fast, Your Eminence, because one of these native clans is getting ready for an assault. They managed to find the camp and are gathering their troops.
I implore you to dissuade them, Your Excellency. It is our duty to fix this situation. I wouldn't want the natives to think that we were letting them suffer without doing anything. Since you seem to know all the details of this matter, will you agree to lead my troops?
You want me to lead the offensive on this bastion of the Inquisition?
Yes. Of course, you would be leading a troop of guards, which I will immediately put at your disposal. Go to the barracks and show this mandate to the quartermaster. He will ensure that you are provided with the men you need. As for me, I pray the enlightened will guide you in this terrible task. Domitius, if I find out you had anything to do with this, you will pay for it with your life.
Your Eminence, I assure you that this is probably nothing but the actions of a handful of